All right, let's talk about something that probably keeps a lot of developers and ops engineers up at night, that tangled, sometimes terrifying mess of managing multiple environments. We're going to go on a little journey today, from that chaos to a place of real control. Let's dive in. You know the feeling, right? You've got one project, but it lives in all these different places. You got your dev environment, your testing environment, and, of course, the big one, production, the one you really can't afford to break. It's just a perfect recipe for mix-ups and that constant low-grade anxiety. And come on, let's be honest. Who hasn't had that heart-in-your-throat moment? You type a command, you hit enter, and for one terrifying split second, you're just praying you pointed it at dev and not, prod. That fear is very real, and it's exactly what we're going to solve today. This really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have that world of confusion we were just talking about. It's a tangled mess where one little mistake can cause a huge domino effect. But on the other side, that's where we want to be. A world of control, clean, isolated, where changes are predictable and, most importantly, safe. So the big question is, how do we get from one to the other? Well, the answer is a pretty simple but incredibly powerful concept: workspaces. You can think of these as the hero of our story today. It's the one tool that's really designed to tame all that complexity and give us the separation and safety we're looking for. Okay, so let's break this down. The magic word here, the most important word, is isolated. A workspace is an isolated copy of your infrastructure's state. This is what lets you use the exact same configuration files for dev, for test, and for prod, without them ever bumping into each other. It's kind of the ultimate have your cake and eat it too for infrastructure management. And if you want an even simpler way to picture it, this is perfect. Just think of workspaces as parallel universes for your project. Seriously, you've got your dev universe over here, your prod universe over there. They're built from the exact same blueprint, your code, but what happens in one stays in one. So that sounds great, right? Parallel universes. But how does that isolation actually work? When you peek under the hood, the way it works is actually beautifully simple but incredibly effective. And here it is. This is the secret sauce. Notice how both the dev and the prod workspaces are using the exact same configuration file. The secret, the absolute key to this whole thing, is the state file. Each workspace gets its own, totally separate state file. That file is the source of truth for its universe, and keeping them separate guarantees total isolation. It's as simple as that. So what does this actually mean for you day to day? It means you can go wild in your dev workspace. You can experiment, you can innovate, you can break things and fix them again, all with total peace of mind, knowing that your prod environment is safely tucked away, completely untouched. It gives you freedom and safety, all in one package. Now, workspaces are a really powerful tool, and like any powerful tool, you gotta know when and when not to use them. So let's chat about a few best practices so you can avoid some common mistakes. At this point, you might be thinking, this is amazing. I'm gonna use workspaces for absolutely everything. And hey, I get the excitement, I really do, but the answer is actually a little more nuanced than that. So here's the golden rule for beginners. Don't use a sledgehammer to crack a nut, you know? For really simple projects, or maybe for projects where your environments are just wildly different from each other, using separate folders is still probably your best bet. It's simpler. Workspaces really shine when your environments are almost identical, like they share the exact same configuration and just need slightly different variables. That's their sweet spot. All right, so we've covered a lot of ground. We've gone from that fear of breaking production all the way to the magic of separate state files. So let's just boil it all down to the one central idea that you should walk away with. It all comes down to this. If you remember only one thing from our time together, please make it this sentence: workspaces isolate infrastructure environments safely. That's it. That's your entire path from chaos to control right there. And that really just leaves us with one final thought. By understanding and using tools like this, you're doing more than just managing infrastructure. You are actively trading fear for control. And that begs a much more exciting question. Now that you're in control, what incredible things are you going to build?